that NAS is the partner I'm able to work with. NAS helped me put up this new intellectual diversity bill's language on its site. I can't do what I do without the heft of an organization.
I'm grateful to this audience for staying extra long. This has been quite a marathon day, but I think it's been a splendid day, and I'm very grateful to all the speakers. Just a few final things, and you'll be liberated. The National Association of Scholars is a membership group. I'm fond of saying either you are members or you're about to become. Those who are not yet members should join us. We are an organization that is hospitable to people who are not even scholars, but scholars are welcome too. In 2 weeks or 3 weeks, or on February 7th and 8th, we're holding another conference in Oakland, California on fixing science. Today we fixed civilization. In a few weeks we'll fix science. And I just wanted to take a final moment here to bestow on Stanley Kurtz a token of our appreciation of what he has done. The National Association of Scholars has been giving the Peter Shaw Memorial Award for more than 20 years to recognize exemplary writing on issues pertaining to higher education and American intellectual culture. That reward is named after Professor Shaw, who at the time of his death was the editor of Academic Questions, that's our journal, and chairman of the board of the National Association of Scholars. According to everyone that I've talked to who knew him, I did not, he was a kind, extraordinarily fine person. Now, we've given this award over the years to recipients including Herbert London, Mary Lefkowitz, Robert Conquest, Amy Wax, and most recently Heather McDonald. And while we're proud that we had the good sense and good taste to recognize them, they've also honored us by accepting this award. And the issue that I think is before us now on this civilization talk is the chance to express a public appreciation of a fine work of scholarship. But as you know from my earlier remarks, Stanley and I have also been good friends for much of our lives. We were undergraduates together at Haverford College, where I had the good sense to major in anthropology and he in religion. After that, we went to separate universities to pursue our doctoral degrees, but we've remained in close touch over all these years, he reading my works in draft and I his, so we've had considerable influence on each other's intellectual development. I've been an admirer of his for decades. His work as a public intellectual in the last 20-some years, dedicated to both the American Republic and to the ideals of American higher education. He has published 2 influential books on President Obama, in addition to his scholarly works. One, Radical in Chief, Barack Obama and the Untold Story of American Socialism, where he went to extraordinary lengths not to say that Obama was a socialist. Now I suppose he must regret having missed that opportunity. And then a sequel to that, Spreading the Wealth, How Obama is Robbing the Suburbs to Pay for the Cities. He's led a campaign to reform federal subsidies to academic programs in area studies. That's Title VI of the Higher Education Act. He co-authored the campus free speech legislative proposal that he alluded to earlier. His language has been incorporated in state law in several states and many more coming. He's a trenchant policy critic, a fine writer. I would say an astonishingly able researcher. His books grew out of the ability to look in places where others hadn't thought to look, to dig into archives, doing good old-fashioned legwork as a scholar, finding out things that were in the public record if one had any sense of where to go looking for them, but our astonishingly incurious public press never got that idea. So if you want to really know what was going on in Obama's life before he became a public figure, Stanley Kurtz's book is still the very best place to look. I can think of no more qualified, finer, able recipient of the Peter Shaw Award. It comes with a fairly large financial prize, which Stanley will receive, and all I can say about that is that he'd better not donate any of it to Haverford College.
Thank you so much. This is not something they told me about. I'll be very quick. I get involved in a lot of fights, and most of those fights have to do with higher education. And what I find is that NAS is the partner I'm able to work with. NAS helped me put up this new intellectual diversity bill's language on its site. I can't do what I do without the heft of an organization to help me. I worked with NAS. In the pushback against APUS history. There are just countless things. NAS, and I won't go into names, but there are other organizations out there that won't fight. NAS will fight. So support NAS, join NAS. Thanks to NAS.
Well, one more round of applause for our speakers today and panelists. We're going to wrap up here, but we do have reception just out the back with some more food. Very happy for all of you in spending time with us here in Malibu today. I see some new faces here in the audience, and so I just want to let you know, if you haven't, we've got some exciting events planned for the rest of the spring semester. Actually, relevant to today's discussion, our next event here in this auditorium will be on February 6th. We're partnering with Yeshiva University. They have a Strauss Center on the Torah and Western thought, and we'll be discussing the Hebraic roots of the American founding, as well as discussing some relevant issues around religious liberty in the United States today. But we have a number of other events here on campus, over at our Calabasas building, forthcoming, and if you'd like to get on our email list, there's a clipboard out there to do that as well. So with that, we are adjourned, and please join us out back for the reception. Thanks so much.